Hey guys, welcome to Toy Chat. This is Max.
Autumn.
And Sang.
And today we are reviewing the Disney Fairytale Designer Collection dolls. This time around it's Alice and the Queen of Hearts.
It's a part of the Heroes vs. Villains line, Wave 2.
Yes, and the Queen of Hearts is mistakenly labeled as the Red Queen on this set, which is a mistake for those of you who don't know. Yeah, originally the Queen of Hearts and the Red Queen, two totally separate characters, but...
And also, Disney has acknowledged their mistake, and it is on the brochure and all the promotional images for the Queen of Hearts that she is mistakenly called the Red Queen.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in knowing a little bit of like the background, the history behind the Disney Fairytale Designer dolls, or you know, how to purchase them, that kind of thing, check out our previous review of Fairytale Designer Belle and Gaston, where we get a little deeper into that. So right now we're just going to go ahead and jump right into the packaging. As with all Fairytale Designer Collection dolls, they come in a hard plastic in a display case and are posed in a manner that is very cute, and it looks as though the characters are interacting with each other. And what's kind of cool is I feel like their pose in how they are in box is very similar to how they're posed in the artwork on the cardboard sleeve. And yeah, so once again, there is a matte cardboard sleeve which goes over the top of the display case, which is very lovely. And for this set, it is a robin's egg blue, which is very nice, very striking. I could be wrong, but at least in terms of recent Fairytale Designer dolls, you don't see that shade, too often. There's usually a lot of reds and greens and pinks, yeah, so it's cool to see a blue. And of course, as we also discussed in our Belle and Gaston review, these dolls do also come with very lovely and collectible bags that has artwork from all 4 sets from this wave, which, as Sang mentioned, yeah, this is the Heroes vs. Villains wave. So we are going to go ahead and open these guys up and give you a closer look. It is easier than you might think to open these guys up, but yeah, if you want more detail on that, again, check out a previous video. God, okay,
Disney
Fairytale Designer Collection. Okay.
Heroes vs. Villains. Disney Fairytale. Disney Fairy. Okay. Here. Okay. All right. So this
Disney Fairytale Designer Collection.
Oh, hold on. All right. So here is Disney Fairytale Designer Collections. Heroes vs. Villains. Alice.
Out of box.
Out of box, yes.
She has yellow gold hair that's parted down the middle at her bangs, which is tied into little, I guess you call them
ringlets
on the side. Her hair is parted by a black headband with a tiny little bow on top, and then the rest of her hair is combed backward on the other side of her head, which comes out into
nice little curls.
A wave curl type thing.
I really appreciate that kind of hairstyle on dolls. It's very hard to maintain, and Alice herself, her hair is very gelled, but it's very cute.
Oh, it just looks so beautiful.
It's gorgeous. Yeah, I feel like in general, Disney brand, Disney store dolls, that's like their expertise is like gelling hair. Like they do, even honestly, even budget Disney store dolls, like the hair is gelled, beautifully in most cases.
She has a little bit of blush as well as these ruby red lipsticks. But she does have a little bit of like a light brown eyeshadow as well. But it's very nude looking.
Yeah.
She is a little girl, but she does have that little rosy cheeks.
And she has a very sweet, innocent expression on her face, as if she's, curiously, kind of inquisitively looking upward.
Curiously cautious.
Yes, a little bit cautious as well. The expressions on these, for this wave, look as though the characters are interacting with each other. And it definitely looks as though she's, kind of looking at the Red Queen with, a little bit of curious, but also kind of intimidated and, a little bit submissive, so.
But there's still some naivety in her.
As with any of the Disney designer dolls, Alice has rooted eyelashes, and I think at first for the Disney store, I mean, correct us if we're wrong, but she has a new face mold. It's unique for Alice herself.
Yes, because for those of you who don't know, it has been a minute since the last classic Disney Alice doll. The Tim Burton adaptation kind of took over, and actually, to my knowledge, I don't think there's been a major release Disney store brand classic Alice doll since, the incredibly, high valued and sought after limited edition 17-inch, which was years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's very, very exciting that in 2016 we finally have another, standard-sized classic Alice doll.
So, for Alice's outfit, she has this collared short sleeve dress with little poofs on the sleeves. And over it is a cream-colored apron with a just awesome embroidered floral design covered in pink and yellow daisies, maybe? I don't even know. And sprinkled around sometimes in the center of the flowers are little gold rhinestones. At the bottom of her apron, it has a lace hem, which is very cute.
Looks like a doily.
Yeah. And the dress itself is like a robinette blue again, and the pattern on it in a slightly darker blue is, I don't know what to call it, like maybe like a paisley type design.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But more floral, which kind of happens a lot throughout this series, and I super appreciate that because I love florals.
Yes.
Now underneath the dress, she has a lace petticoat type thing, and adds some texture to the dress. You actually can't see it that well when the dress is all the way down, so and it's just a nice extra bit of fabric and
I think it makes it like
in depth, yeah. And on the back of her dress, her apron is cinched together in this big bow with two long ribbons coming out. I believe the bow is fastened by Velcro, and the apron is actually removable if you want to take it off, but we're not going to.
Yeah, we're not going to, but it is, it's very cool. It's an actual bow, and it is, so it's essentially, you've got 3 pieces here total. So you have the apron, which is a completely separate piece, the dress itself, and the little, undergarment petticoat.
And stockings.
For Alice's legs, she is wearing full cream-colored leggings that go all the way up. Yeah, they go all the way up.
I wonder if it's attached to her petticoat type thing.
No,
it's not. No, it's.
It ends.
Nope.
There.
Yep, it's a.
Ends at her belly button.
Yeah, it is a separate piece. Yeah.
And for her shoes, she has black leather Mary Jane type shoes. They aren't actually leather. I just think that's the look they were going for when you can see the stitches that they put in the mold for the shoes, but they're actually made out of plastic. As far as I can remember, it seems very true to the movie.
Yeah, completely accurate. Those are her exact shoes.
And they're super duper cute. I love the just little splash of black on her shoes and then on her headband.
So what's interesting is you can bend her legs, but that's about it.
So she has kind of like the old school Barbie legs where they're rubber and they have little notches that you can bend them to.
Yeah, the joints are on the inside.
Yeah, so it's not like a ball joint. So you wouldn't be able to, have her do a full heel kick or anything like that. This is as far back as they go.
So they move, but not very much.
Yeah.
So
it's better than nothing. I kind of wish at this price point they could have gave us a completely articulated doll.
I mean, it's a very weird design choice.
I don't know. It might be because, we were talking about how in this particular set, both Alice and the Queen look, from just first impression, if you look at their clothing, they both look very detailed, as were with some other sets. You can tell which of them the budget was poured into.
Such as in our last video, clearly Belle got the budget over Gaston. But
yeah. So it might be because they, both the Queen and Alice have such detailed clothing and all, they might have had to make some cuts in other areas. But not a huge deal. She's still gorgeous. All right, next up we have the Queen of Hearts.
She has her black hair tied up in a 2-layer bun, which is very,
So fancy. You know, her hair's actually all tied up like that. Yeah.
It's tied off with a red ribbon, which is very suited for her. Her bangs go across her forehead in kind of a messy pattern. Is that how it was in the movie?
Yeah, actually what's really cool is her bangs are very accurate to the movie, where it's almost
frazzled because she's a little crazy.
Yeah, so she has those frayed bangs. Yeah, it's how it looks in the art and in the movie. So very accurate.
And then she has a largely puffed collar that's like crimped together accordion style. Very regal, high court, royalty looking type thing, and it's finished off with this golden lace trim, and kind of gives the impression of like a large crown, which is cool, but doesn't take away from her actual crown, which is very largely heart themed and golden with many red jewels set in. And she even has a couple of molded on golden earrings.
Yes.
They took the time to paint. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And she has, I love that they painted on her the like bushy eyebrows. Do you see how bushy her eyebrows are?
Her face is great.
Yeah, her face it's comical and cute, and so yeah, it's very accurate. Like Alice, she has rooted eyelashes, and she's basically wearing zero makeup. I don't know if I can say is she wearing any makeup at all?
Maybe the tiniest bit of that nude style eyeshadow, but other than that.
Yeah, she ain't wearing no makeup. Like, I don't think she has blush, really. I don't know, lipstick. Yeah, she's just barefaced. A natural queen. The Queen of Hearts is wearing an elegant royal robe that is half black and half royal red, as it was in the movie. There is a separate
breast piece in alternating black and red to offset her two halves of her robe in a giant heart shape, and it's embroidered with a lot of golden leaf-like details, and it's definitely the centerpiece to her outfit.
There's a lot of detail on this robe. The white lining of it has some silvery gold, heart leafy design. The design, it's all very playing card inspired, there's a lot of, heart and spade and leafy designs throughout, and embroidered gold hearts. And there's, these little, some puffed
lacy cuffs. I like that the cuffs are also alternating in black and red.
And she is holding a lovely accessory in her heart scepter, which is very... Actually, no, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me a lot of heart containers from Legend of Zelda. It looks really similar. But yeah, it's a very nice accessory for her to have. So for the Queen of Hearts feet, she actually stands very well on her own, which is really cool. And she's got them thick thighs, and she is wearing red, very deep, like blood red heels, which are molded on, so they're not actual shoes. You cannot remove them. And what she has going on beneath her robe, there's a separate layer here that's like
an underskirt type thing, that's in that pale gold color again, and it's finished off with the same lace trimming that was on her cuff, and I believe it goes all the way up. I'm not actually sure if it goes up past her waist, but it definitely goes on underneath the entire bottom half of her robe.
Yeah, so the detailed trim on her robe actually does not continue onto the back, so it's just all white from the back. But the back is, very lovely beyond that. Now, what's very interesting about the Queen of Hearts is the fact that you may notice some things a little interesting about, the shape and, of her body. She has a plush body. So yeah, the only things on her that are, like plastic, body mold are her head, her arms, and her legs. So her body, it's a plush. It's all squishy.
Yeah, we were talking about, you're wondering why they made that decision. I mean, it's not bad or anything. I think it fits just fine. I was like wondering what went behind that. If anyone could speak to that, it'd be cool to know.
It's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't think it, the only reason it's a little bit weird though is, you can kind of see it up there where her neck is, and which
from the front you can still see some of the plush.
Yeah, that's a little awkward. I think if they, like this weird little collar portion right here, if they got rid of that, it would work better. I mean, in some ways it kind of works out because it's easier to. In some ways, it's almost easier to, for her to give that, for her to have that little poofy body. Interesting choice, but I don't know. I don't have strong feelings one way or the other because she still looks great. Okay, so these are our final thoughts on Disney Fairytale Designer Collection, Alice and Queen of Hearts. I think this is a really gorgeous set. I would say particularly if you're a doll collector, if you're into Disney dolls and you're a big fan of the original classic Disney adaptation of Alice in Wonderland, you really should pick these up if you can. Obviously, as we mentioned before, it's almost never that we're treated to, a doll version of classic Alice, and she's just so adorable. This was really one of the sets we talked about early on that we were just so tempted to crack it open and, take pictures of her because she's just so cute and there's so many different poses and locations you can imagine, positioning her in and just having fun with her. And, they did an excellent job on the Queen of Hearts as well. She's a character that kind of strikes me as, almost kind of like Ursula, where it would be kind of tough to create in doll form, but I think they did a really good job. I do have kind of mixed feelings about her plush body, just in the sense that I wish it were a little less visible from the front. But real quick too, for those who don't know, even though it doesn't look like it because she has such stubby arms, the Queen of Hearts does have elbow articulation,
and wrist,
so you can still move her elbows and her wrists, which is really cool. I'm kind of on Alice having, the bendy joints instead of ball joints for her legs. But she has an adorable hand mold, and I'm really glad you can still move, her arms. And this is an incredibly cute set. I would definitely recommend it. Disney designer dolls are quite expensive, but this is one you might want to consider springing for.
Yeah, and as a set, it's just so great because, spoiler alert, sorry guys, I was never the biggest Alice in Wonderland fan growing up. I didn't even see that movie till I was like 12, so it was kind of past my time to be super into it. But just as a doll set, they're just such polar opposites. Like she's Alice all cute, dainty, blue and white, and she's all big and overbearing and red and black, but they feel like they're part of the same universe, and they're both just so well done. Like Max mentioned earlier about like how the budget seems evenly split on this one.
Alice is so little. She's got like the Disney little sister mold, which we don't, ever see really.
Her stature just kills me. I love her slightly like too big head for her body. Just so perfect.
I struggle with, saying either this set or Belle and Gaston is my favorite set of this wave of characters, but I do appreciate that a lot of detail went into both characters, both Alice and Queen of Hearts. It's very unique and rare that you see a little mold character. So Alice is smaller than the other girls. Normally they use very similar sizes for all their dolls. So it's nice to see she's a little smaller than anyone else. It's a little weird that her leg joints are not really there. It's just, we talked about how we love doing photography, and it would be nice to have Alice, sitting down or kneeling over, but it's not a huge obstacle for us. But yeah, it would be nice, considering the price point we're buying these dolls for.
Well, as we kind of discovered while we were opening them, it really felt like they never intended for us to take these dolls out of the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really realize you don't realize that they did cut certain little corners until you open them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have definitely a different appreciation for your dolls when you do open them.
Definitely.
So I'm glad we did. Like, these feel like high quality dolls in your hands. The silk and fabric is really nice.
The hair is just so perfectly done.
Yeah, so it's it's a different feeling when you actually own them and play with them. But I would definitely recommend getting Alice, and the Queen of Hearts is a added bonus. I think she's not my favorite villain of the 4 that came out this year, but she is true to how she should look based on the animated character, and I appreciate that she has real hair, and her accessories are pretty nice. She has a scepter and crown with actual rhinestones.
All these dolls have felt like they're taken just from a still from the movie. Just so true to character, and I just think that makes it even more worth the buy. Like, if I had to choose between this Alice and that $5,000 17-inch one, I would choose this one because she reminds me of the character I fell in love with.
And I appreciate that the Queen of Hearts is not just an accessory for Alice. She's her own character with her own details, and a lot of thought went to her as well. Yeah, these are $129.99 US. You might still have a chance to purchase them.
All right, thank you for joining us for our review of Disney Fairytale Designer Collection, Alice and the Queen of Hearts. Let us know what you think of these dolls in the comments, and we will see you next time.
Bye!
Bye.